What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Digginzo.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woo!
Woo! Yay! Hooray!
If it was Diggins, your name would be like Dig Guns, and it would be like DIG apostrophe GUNNZ or something. I feel like,
guys,
yeah.
Remember when we had Rensonas? Could we have Etersonas?
We totally could. It would just be our names, but a little bit wrong with the apostrophes and stuff in them.
And then a power that's very distinct from everyone else's power.
Actually, the names don't really have apostrophes, weirdly.
I think Macari's, or not Macari's,
Nope.
Somebody does. I can't remember which one. Really?
None of the ones in the movie, I don't think.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're probably right.
Or maybe you're wrong.
I don't know. I have been reading a lot of Eternals comics, so maybe it's different in the comics, but it might not be. I might be just imagining that. But so then you're like Diggins, maybe ANZ. I feel like a couple of the letters have to be different. It can't just be one. It can't be like it has to be a bunch of different letters.
Or we call him like Iggins. Just take the D out.
Yeah.
That's
well,
I always be taking the D out. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah.
Hey!
Save it for the weekend, Diggins. The other thing about the Eternals in the comics that we don't get any of in this, I don't think, is when you get to what's his name, when you get to Phastos, right? Does he have an off-duty name, like a civilian identity name?
At one point, his husband calls him Phil.
Okay. So that's the other thing I think is fun about the Eternals sometimes, is like their names are very stupid. Like their real names are like Mike Curry and I forget, like and like Phil Astos and stuff like that. So that would be our maybe that could be our Rensona.
Icarus.
Ike Harris, I think, but I don't think it's Ike. I think it's Isaac Harris, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of them have that, some don't, because some of them just don't care. Although a lot of the time, the Eternals comics are about them, like they get like reborn as people and then don't remember their Eternals, so then they have like a civilian identity, and then that's how it usually goes. But they didn't do that in here. Isn't that interesting?
How fun.
Yeah, fun right. Stuff. You guys, we're going to talk about Marvel's The Eternals. Before we get to that, you guys, have you seen any of the stuff about, I don't want to spoil what they were, but any of the stuff about Marvel's The Spider-Mans? Too many Spider-Men?
Oh, I heard there were many spoilers that I did my best to avoid, and still have. I've still avoided them, so I guess I'm doing my best to avoid them.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely won't tell you what they were, but someone put them out into the internet, and then Marvel definitely came to his house.
Tolland.
Yeah.
That's his eternal name.
That is his eternal name, yeah. He very well may have. We don't know who put the leak out, but the guy that did the leak himself put like a what's it called, a watermark on it, and was like, look at this leak I have. And Marvel was like, we're gonna like take it down
to our black site now.
Yeah, like, or say it's fake.
Kevin Feige is going to strangle him with a silk rope.
The best part about it is, though, this guy was like, he had to, because I don't know his name, but he does like some sort of YouTube show, like podcasty thing. And he said like, and Marvel was like, well, you can't have thought these were real when Sony called me and they were like, you can't have thought these were real. Otherwise, why would you put your watermark on them? That's so stupid. That would be like trying to steal the Mona Lisa and leaving your business card. And he was like, so I guess I pretended to be an idiot. So yeah, there've been a lot of leaks for that movie, kind of. They love to leak. Why is it Spider-Man gets leaked more than anybody else?
Because everyone loves it so much. I feel like people forget how much, like, I don't know, cultural cachet Spider-Man has. So it's always like the number one, like kids Halloween costume for like kids ages like 4 to 10. Like Spider-Man's just like huge in general.
That was the olden days. This year it'll be nothing but Icarus and Makari and Cersei and all the Eternals, you know?
I can't wait till next Halloween when everyone's still like, oh my god, Eternals, I love them so much.
Yeah, they're like Power Rangers, but with circles instead of other stuff on their costume. Their costumes are made of circles. Yeah.
It's all shiny and metallic-y and stuff.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man is cool, but it is. I don't know. It's weird. Because, like...
Yeah, we're really coming out with the hot takes on this one.
Yeah, Spider-Man equals cool.
I wonder if it was Spider-Man was just, like, the first one of these that really hit. Because it was a big thing. What is it about Spider-Man?
Well, Spider-Man's always been a very popular superhero. One of the most popular. I think he has always been Marvel's most popular superhero, I think.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 100%.
As we're recording this, like I said, on November 10th.
This could change.
We will see.
You know, within days.
Yeah. It usually takes a couple
once
of days.
Once Eternals fever really sweeps through the nation.
Once Mad Weary sweeps through the nation, as it is known in the Eternalverse. Yeah, I guess...
Move over, Squid Game.
Spider-Man's always had all the stuff. Like, there's always been a show of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. It's like one of the first cartoons, and then...
I mean, ushered in the 21st century with, like, a really big movie, you know?
Yeah.
With, like, names, right? Like, those were all names at the time. It was like, oh, this is, like, a really, like, a big deal movie.
Yeah, it was Willem Dafoe, a real guy who's, like, a cool guy who we love.
A real human person, yeah.
The explanation I've always heard for why Spider-Man hit so big, when Spider-Man was first made, this is, like, in the 60s, is that... at that was a time when comics were like totally just for kids. But he was kind of the first one that was like about really centered like a teenager having normal teenage problems in addition to being a superhero. And so like that kind of made him very popular amongst the core reading set of comic books at the time. And then, there's a kind of cultural inertia where he becomes this beloved figure in the minds of those people who then become adults. And Spider-Man gets a lot of love and attention, gets pushed a lot, so new kids end up loving him, and it just, it all snowballs from there.
Yeah, do you think that's Eternals' problem, is their child one is really not a child, it's an adult or something? Their sprite doesn't count.
I don't think there's any problem with Eternals. Like we're saying, Eternals fever's about to sweep the nation, baby.
That's a great point. And maybe they'll make even younger Eternals. Maybe Spider-Man will join the Eternals soon. Yeah,
there's going to be a baby Eternal next movie. It's going to be one that's literally like a newborn infant.
They did do that in one of the comics. They've done all kinds of stuff. It's great stuff. They've done so many Eternals things, and they've all been so good that no one does an Eternals comic for a while. And then they pretend that the last one didn't happen and restart the brand every couple of years. So it's all great. It's great stuff.
The only Eternals runs I know about, I haven't read any of them. So I'm flying blind on this
Surprise. Are you kidding me? How did you miss the Eternals runs? They were the only things anyone was talking about.
Now, you're saying this is a joke, but there actually are something I have been interested in for a long time because I've heard they're very interesting and weird.
Yeah. The first one's
but
cool.
The only ones I'm familiar with are the inaugural run by Jack Kirby and the Neil Gaiman kind of reboot of it years later.
So, yeah, I'll say I've read the Neil Gaiman one. And I've tried to read the Jack Kirby one. I really do. It's so dense. There's so many words on every page. It's insane. And the words are all people just saying, like, this fantastic machine has got so many buttons. I can't even imagine how many buttons it has. Where'd you think this machine came from? And it's rough. But the Neil Gaiman one is pretty good. It was followed by one by a writer I can't remember the name of that is rare. Like, I think maybe better than the Neil Gaiman one in terms of just being a story. Then there's the new one that's pretty good. But yeah, there's not a ton of Eternals out there. Every so often they pop into something, but it hasn't been the hot property that you would expect, considering all the kids love the Eternals. And it's everywhere,
Eternals got the mad heat. Everyone's, fanning themselves just thinking about the Eternals because they're such a hot commodity.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. We live in a bizarre 2021. Eternals.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Let's talk about Marvel's The Eternals. Dana Swift.
Because Taylor Swift is an eternal musician whose music will be popular forever. That's why.
A lot of women making music these days, you know, and I think it's great.
Did we check Taylor Swift's family tree to see if she's been the same person across several generations?
See if Taylor Swift is really the same person as God, who the fuck's her dad? The achy breaky heart man.
Oh, you're thinking of
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, you're thinking of Miley Cyrus.
You're thinking of Miley Cyrus.
God damn it! Why is my brain so bad and stupid?
You're thinking that Billy Ray Cyrus gave birth to Taylor Swift, and then there's just
another
Miley Cyrus out there somewhere.
I like
Big
that.
Coincidence. I mean, listen, I haven't seen any of the... I think he's in Hannah Montana, but I don't know. But I feel like he is a character in it.
Yes, he is.
So maybe it would be that's probably not her real name either. Like, it's not Hannah Montana, it's not Miley Cyrus. That's just like a joke we all make.
Cyrus does sound like the name of Eternal, though. Like, that is one of the Eternals.
Cyrus, Taylor. I mean, to be fair, Taylor Swift was supposed to be, I think there was a point where she was going to be Dazzler in one of the X-Men movies, and then they decided not to do it because they're cowards. I want to say it was going to be in the 80s one, too. And I don't even think she was going to be in it. I think they were going to pick up a record that had Dazzler, and it was just a picture of Taylor Swift. But then they didn't do it. Yeah, so that's great. You guys, The Eternals.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, guys, we love The Eternals. I mean, we don't, we'll see.
Favorite Jack Kirby comic, easy.
Better than the other one that's pretty much Eternals.
The New Gods.
The New Gods.
Yeah, better than any Fourth World stuff. This is the good stuff. Better than his collages. Better than all the characters he drew mostly. You know? I like my Eternals. I'll throw my Iron Man toys and my Silver Surfer toys in the trash. No, thank you. Just give me the Eternals. So do you guys want to do the IMDb spelling bee for Eternals?
Heck yes.
This is going to be a
You're the man. Am I
Man.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes, you're the man.
It's a sentence. I think Diggins, you get to decide who goes first.
He does.
So what are you going to do, Diggins?
I'm not feeling good about this. I think I'm going to lose again. But I will make DJ go first.
Okay.
Good call. Okay.
Eternals, let's hear it.
There's only one way in my brain that it makes sense to go about this, so I'm just going to give it a big ol' swing. Ushering in the next chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Eternals come to fight the monstrous deviants in order to save humanity.
Okay. Diggins, what about you?
A group of immortal heroes must fulfill their purpose by saving humanity from the emergence of an old threat, an ancient creatures known as the Deviants.
Oh, this is tough. So both of you had one word and that's it.
Damn it.
So I'm going to do the thing where you just keep saying words and then I'll
Can we do the Eternals off where we keep naming Eternals until we run out?
I don't know. It seems like Diggins, you're pretty confident that you'll name them all, and DJ's already said he won't name any of them.
I got one. Is
How about
Hephaestus one?
Nope.
No,
so no.
Wrong.
It is inspired perhaps by that character, but how about this? I think
or did he inspire the guy?
Yeah.
That's
a great question. Okay, how about this? You just tell me. Just keep going. Keep doing words. There's a bunch. There's not a bunch, but there's a handful of words that you didn't do. So, starting with Diggins, just say a word that might be in the Eternals, IMDb summary, and the first one to say it wins.
Celestial.
No, DJ.
Did Diggins use the word immortal?
He did.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Birth.
Nope.
Emergence.
When you already said that.
Emergence.
Yeah, I think
did
you
you?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
I did not say emergence.
Check the tapes.
DJ.
Check the tapes.
DJ or you did. I don't remember who specifically, but so do another word.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get a freebie.
What happens in this movie, guys?
That's the thing. A lot of talking happens in this movie.
Cersei.
Nah. DJ?
I'm gonna guess that there isn't a single Eternal named in the IMDb summary. I realize it's not a guess, but I'm just like, that's my.
That's your bet.
Word. That's my bet. Word. Oh my god, this is so dumb. Oh my gosh, like
Cookie Monster.
like
You're
force.
riffing.
Is the word force in the summary?
No. All right, everybody gets one more word, and then I have to come up with a new game. Diggins?
Oh god.
Powers.
No.
Oh god, this is way too much pressure. Okay. Oh god, I'm just mysterious.
Nope. Okay. Here's the new game. The title or the poster for this movie,
No.
which you may have seen, has all the Eternals standing next to each other or whatever. It also has all of the actors' names in a in like a big list, pretty much, of importance. However, the bottom three names are with and. So that's usually given to the actors who are able to command, I guess, the most money or just like have the best agents. I want you guys to guess any of the three. So any of the three of you can guess any three.
Got
Oh,
it.
I feel like I know this.
Yeah, but I don't think you do. So you give me one at a time. Diggins, we'll start with you.
The and is Angelina Jolie.
It is.
Slam dunk. That's a slam dunk.
DJ, who are two of the withs? Either with.
One of the withs is Kit Harington.
It is.
Yeah.
Diggins, do you have an idea who the other with is?
Salma Hayek.
Yeah, damn it. I thought Kit Harington would sneak by because he's
No,
barely in the movie.
Well, you know why? And it's because it's in the credits, and my brain, when I saw with Kit Harington, I'm like, how? What happened?
All right.
Game
how
of
about
Thrones
this?
happened, baby.
Exactly.
We're going to do a jump ball, okay? I'm just going to say the thing, and whoever says it first is going to win. Okay?
Okay.
All right. First person who can say the name Fastos' husband.
Oh my god.
Carlos.
Ivan?
Nope.
Oh, what the hell?
All right, I guess
What a
this is
specific
also
thing.
a wash.
Well,
right.
no, we should just keep going. We keep going. Jim.
I mean,
Dave.
nah.
Joe, John,
Nope.
Albert, Phil, Fred, Frank. This is horrible.
Yeah, keep
Can I just
going.
give it to Diggins?
Carl.
Can I shoot myself
no
in the
O's,
foot?
just
and
Carl.
I refuse. Okay, how about this? All right, in order of when we meet them in the movie, not counting that first scene where they're all standing next to each other in like the olden times.
Oh, heck.
What is the order in which the Eternals are recruited? We're gonna go one after another.
Recruited or revealed?
Like, I feel like it's pretty like revealed. So the first couple are revealed, but then how
And
does
then
the
recruited? Okay.
recruited?
That's
That's
fine. That's fine.
Diggins, start with you.
Well, we open with Cersei.
Correct. DJ.
And then it's Sprite.
Correct. Diggins.
Then Icarus swoops in.
Correct. The next one's a little tricky.
So I was gonna say the next one is technically Ajax.
Correct. Diggins.
Yeah.
After Ajax, they go get Kingo.
Correct. DJ.
Okay. So I'm just gonna thinking because this movie's so long and there's so much talking. So they get Kingo. They're on the plane, and then they have to go get Druig.
Diggins. Who you think?
Damn
they-
it!
They recruit two people at the same time. However, the first one they see is Gilgamesh.
Oh,
That's
damn
correct.
It.
Gilgamesh
No.
and Athena are
Recount.
next.
Stop the
What do you mean-
steal.
What do you mean recount? Absolutely. Druig is way later than. I mean, not way later, but like those
I
two
knew-
are both clearly before him.
Knew I was missing something.
Yep.
I'm
Sorry.
I'm
So
beyond
Diggins,
furious.
you win the IMDb B spell like spelling bee. which
No.
is
He wins like some other game that like. Let's be
Oh
clear. We
my
both
God.
lost the game.
So here's the thing with the actual summary.
Okay.
Diggins said a word that was a little bit harder to say, like in the summary. You both got one word, and I really looked. However, DJ said Eternals, which was one of the words, which I thought was good. But Diggins, here's the thing. It's the saga of the Eternals, a race of immortal beings who lived on Earth and shaped its history and civilizations. So Diggins said immortal, which I thought was good, even though that's a big fat lie. But
yeah,
it's also like bigger part of the Eternals is mythology generally. But yeah, it's all about the history and civilizations that they shaped, you know?
That's a bad
summary.
Absolutely.
No, that's what the movie's about. It's about the history and civilizations they shaped. They've got a good point there.
That's why the movie's 20 minutes long, because you could just watch the history and civilizations cut, and it's just them in that part. And then there's like a whole bunch of other movie that's in the present day.
How
you guys,
terrible.
Just terrific, Diggins. Great stuff. Diggins, what'd you think of...
I'm so glad that I could win in the most, like, embarrassing, like, completely undeserved and just, like, real Bumble way. Bumble.
What was the husband's name?
Oh, Ben. It's Ben. You totally won. I mean, you won because nobody could do Ben. That was impossible. Actually,
I felt so confident about Carlos. I felt like 100% about Carlos.
Did you know the with Kit Harington?
I did, yeah. I remembered that from the credits, like you do. I saw this movie 10:30 p.m. last night, so it's very fresh in my memory.
Yeah, I was trying to think. The other thing, I guess we could have done, like, name their powers. I don't know. But, like, there's not that much about it besides, like, name the songs in it. That would have been fun, maybe. But there's not a great list of them besides just one in the soundtrack section. But there are a couple of needle drops in Eternals. But, guys, the Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao. Written by Chloe Zhao and some others. But I think she has a
some
story.
Others?
Well, so she has this screenplay by and a screenplay credit. So I think she's kind of got the story. Well, I don't know, because the screen story credit is by Ryan Firpo and Kaz Firpo. Don't know who they are. I feel
like, I think it's a little hard to watch this movie and not feel the presence of a few other cooks in that kitchen.
So, I don't know what these guys' deal is, because they seem to just do, like, really small, like, indie movies, too. So they may be part of her crew. Maybe she brought these guys in, because they were also on screenplay credits. The only person that is not either of them or Chloe Zhao is someone named Patrick Burley, who, has a writing credit on Oh My God. Okay.
Should this have been the tiebreaker?
You'd never have guessed it.
New tiebreaker.
So
I want it.
That movie where Kevin Spacey turns into a cat.
No, but you're on the right track. This guy has a written by credit on Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway, and that's about it.
I didn't even know there was a Peter Rabbit 2.
They just put it out. Like, it came out this year.
It was a COVID casualty.
Yeah. Okay. And also apparently a Black Knight movie, but I don't know.
What was that, Black Knight?
Huh?
Yeah.
Black Knight?
The Blackest Knight.
What a strange movie title that I'm sure has nothing to do with this movie that we just watched.
That's very correct. But also, like, so it definitely is kind of related to this, but I don't think it's been announced. And no one in this movie is named as a, like, what's his name isn't in it. And also, like, here's the plot summary for Black Knight, which, in case we ever do this, after failing to protect his king, a highly skilled and faithful knight must transform into the Black Knight to save the kingdom. So, like, I don't know if that's what this is.
Might just be a coincidence.
Might not be what it is.
Yeah, right? Is this guy, like, on a Black Knight writing spree? Just wants to put Black Knights in everything
nothing
he gets?
but Black Knight.
Yeah. Get what's his name back? Get Martin Lawrence. Remember that? Remember that movie Black Knight?
I don't actually.
Oh, really? He wore like a Jets jersey, I think, and like he fell. It was that classic, like he falls into a portal and lands in olden times, and now Martin Lawrence has to be the hero of the olden Arthurian days.
We used to make so many of those.
Yeah.
That's like what the original Dungeons and Dragons movie was. We used to make so many of those.
Kid in King Arthur's Court. Like there were, Black Knight Black Knight obviously also this character, but also, they made this movie. starring Martin Lawrence, and I kind of remember it. I have seen it. It's not very good, and it's not a Jets jersey. It's a green football-ish jersey, so it's unclear, but it's a Jets jersey.
I thought it'd be one of those things where it's like, if he had like a Vegas Golden Knights jersey, it's like, you're the Golden Knight, and it's like, oh no, that's not what I am. But
so I'm wondering about that. I don't know. We'll do Black Knight next week. You know what, that'll be what we'll do. We'll skip all the rest of these. We'll skip no Spider-Man, no nothing, just Black Knight.
No Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh yeah.
Trailer made me tear up.
So you guys, we got Eternals. The Black
DJ,
Knight.
you're so lucky that I want to talk about what I thought about Eternals, because I would interrogate the hell out of that sentence if I did.
That's why I threw it down there like that, baby.
Diggins, what did you think of Chloe Zhao and the Peter Rabbit guys, the Eternals?
I think this movie is a potent metaphor for itself.
Oh.
I think so. Deep within the crust of this movie, germinating beneath the surface, is a great and interesting movie, just aching to be born, bursting at the seams with untold narrative power. And all it has to do is break through the crust, destroy the Marvel formula in order to emerge fully formed into the universe. But a group of immortal Marvel executives refuse to sacrifice the formula. They will not allow it. They desperately throw everything they have, and in the end are successful in killing the great movie that this could have been.
Oh my gosh. Incredible.
I love that.
There is a Marvel Unimind or some sort of like committee that they go to where they all levitate a little bit and get little glowy lines above their hats or something. Yeah.
I have a question, Diggins. So wait, who is humanity in this analogy? It's like Disney shareholders? Like who is...
Yes, humanity is the Disney shareholders.
Okay.
Who are you in this situation?
So, I mean, to be a little less esoteric about it, there's a lot of things I like about this movie. I appreciate that there's a lot of like different things going on that you wouldn't find in other Marvel movies. I like that this movie talks a lot about genocide for some reason. I like that it ends with everyone going like, did we do the right thing? And they're like, I don't know, man. Listen. I like that they're all like weird aliens that are like just barely connecting with humanity in a lot of cases. I like all that stuff. I like the flashback stuff. I actually think I would have preferred the flashback movie to this movie. But I would be a fool to deny that it is a mess. It is it doesn't flow very well. It's like, we'll get into it, but there's points where I'm like, we're learning all this right now at this exact moment all at once. Okay. And then there's large stretches of movie where nothing really happens. There's too many characters. They're like, they can only be sketched with the broadest brush, which doesn't help when we're trying to do like heavy themes and stuff where it's like the characters are just basically ciphers. So it's hard to feel like there's any real deep exploration of it, any of the ideas it brings up. And then there's just the coat of Marvel paint they put over it, where Kumail Nanjiani's saying silly quips and stuff that like don't fit the tone of the movie at all. I'm like, what's going on here? I mean, some of them are funny, but it doesn't work with it's clearly, for the most part, trying to be a much more serious and contemplative movie and not like a big quippy action movie. And it has clearly been in some ways forced into the mold of the big quippy action movie. And it does the movie no favors to do that, because it just ends up being really incongruous. It doesn't make sense that they're like staring off into the distance and moping about genocide, and then somebody does a big CGI fight a second later. So it's a mess. I see why people don't like it. I completely understand. I'm not even saying like, I'm I'm being flippant. I'm not even necessarily saying like Chloe Zhao's masterpiece was ruined in the editing room by Marvel. There's a lot of
cut.
Yeah. Yes.
There's a lot of like baked in problems here, but I wish we could have had the Eternals movie that's as big and weird and interesting as like the promise of this movie is.
Interesting. Diggins, real quick, who's your favorite Eternals? Which one is your favorite?
Which is my favorite Eternal.
Yeah. Who are you going to dress up as for Halloween?
Well,
obviously here when we're all in Eternals fever.
There's only one of the, there's two of them I can dress up as, and that's it.
Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Well, there's three, technically, if we want to get really technical.
Who's the third one?
I don't want to say because it's a spoiler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was going to be my tiebreaker thing. But I didn't do it because it's a spoiler. But yeah.
Who's my favorite of them?
Who's your favorite?
I like
if you didn't
Cersei.
have to pick one to dress up as.
I mean, Cersei.
Like
Cersei is the one who has the most like fully sketched out personality and is the most like feels like a real person. So I feel like it has to be her.
Interesting. I feel like she's the one for me that was lacking a personality, where a personality really needed to be. I don't know.
There.
Like I feel like Sprite also has kind of she has like a personality, I guess, but I'd say she's one of the other ones.
She has like a character trait, I feel
surprisingly underwritten. But I feel like when we get to the other Eternals, it's like, oh, look at all this personality they got. And there is that moment where Cersei is being interviewed by Kingo, and he's like, explain who you are, Cersei. And she's just like, I could turn a rocket into this, and this, and this. And you kind of figure there's going to be a moment where it's like, yeah, I know, but what's your deal? And she's going to be like, but that doesn't really come up. But I feel like she's kind of like the one who likes the people, but I never got a sense for why.
That's fair. I mean, I don't think any of them are particularly deep personality-wise. I guess maybe Icarus has the most going on, like beneath the surface, but you don't really find that out until deep in the movie.
I would say, I think one of them has a pretty solid personality because he is the true hero of the movie, and that is Druig. He's got a personality.
I knew this was coming.
He does, though. Like
in my bones.
I feel like all the Eternals you meet later. I think Kingo even has a personality. It's just like like you were saying, quippy Marvel personality. I think Gilgamesh and Thena also both have personalities that are like again, like you would. My test is always like, if you're stuck in an elevator with them, what would you say? And I feel like Gilgamesh has like a something.
So I guess what we're running into here is you and I are kind of meaning two different things here. I agree that they have very defined and easy to recognize personality traits. I guess what I'm saying with Cersei is I feel like she has the most internal kind of character goings on, where I feel like I can feel her being like having thoughts and feelings and emotions about the stuff that's happening and like being affected by it. Whereas everyone else is like personality traits that never really change or develop.
That's tough for Druig though, because he's been right all along and he's got to deal with that. And everybody's like giving him the wrong, like,
listen,
what does he get?
Nando, if you're trying to bait me into saying the man who thinks that they should stop a genocide is wrong, I'm not going to take that bait.
Boom.
They should stop the genocide. It's good that they do.
I know, that's what I'm
don't.
saying. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the man who stops the genocide is wrong.
Also, like, they don't stop the genocide, Or do they? Was there no conquest of the...
For now.
Tenochtitlan? Yeah, no, there super was. He didn't stop anything.
Right? But, like, in the Marvel universe, was there not? Like, did we not hear about it? But, like, he does go out and, like, kind of do his controlled powers for a second, and you're like, okay. But maybe it was all over. Maybe it was like they'd already gotten rid of all the natives, and he was just like, okay, so now everybody be nice.
The thing about Druig is that he's totally right about what he says, but his solution is mind control. So I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
slavery.
I think all of the Eternals have the problem of like when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Where it's like Druig is like, I want to save people from doing genocides with mind control, and it's like, maybe not that, but some of you could probably help. Like, if you want to just mind control them every couple of, I don't know, hours to not do a genocide, I don't know, maybe that'll do it. But yeah, I do feel like it's like it is funny how some of the Eternals are just like, I'm the punchy one, and I don't really, I punch things, but then there's the other ones that are like, I want to do a mind control to everybody, and I have philosophy and stuff associated with that. Also, what is druid? Okay, so they all have some sort of like analog in history or something. What's druids?
I don't know that he has one. I mean, maybe there's some Babylonian god I'm not aware of or something.
Yeah, who was the great mind controller?
Yeah, I mean, it could be like a druid, like the idea of like druids as a
oh man, I wish there was a druid one who like ate grass and was friends with animals. Why wasn't there an animal one? Why couldn't he mind control animals?
You
that would be
so
good.
Some of them for the later ones, you know. He probably could mind control animals. He never tried.
Oh,
did he ever try to mind control the deviant?
No, and I don't know why. It's weird he mind controls humans. His power seems like the worst to bring to the table. I can mind control the locals.
I don't understand what the Deviants and Eternals are even doing. Yeah, why is he part of it at all? If it's like we can't interfere with them, but also
that is my purpose, is to interfere with them.
Our whole purpose is to just shoot laser beams at the Deviants. And what's your job? I make illusions. Like, that's not gonna work. I guess like, that kind of works, but it doesn't really help that much.
No, the power sets are bananas in this. Is nuts.
DJ, we kind of got off track. What's your favorite? What did you think of this movie? And who's your favorite Eternal?
Okay, so I'll start with my favorite Eternal. I love Gilgamesh. I thought Gilgamesh was so fun. I like that his thing was food, because that's always fun. My favorite thing's food. So I'm like, and I'm a big strong man. So I'm like, this is just me. We're the same person.
Yeah, you are very much like Gilgamesh.
Yeah. So it felt right.
Like how sometimes Michelle tries to kill all of us and you have to calm her down.
And you keep dropping stuff on the floor, you know, like pies and whatnot.
Yeah.
You're kind of a mess that way.
I also ferment stuff with my spit. So
we're
I think I might have to sue Marvel for like copyright infringement on who I am as a person.
My gosh, are you Gilgamesh? Like is this movie about you, much like the Icarus movie in the movie is about Icarus by Kingo or whatever?
I don't know. I don't think this movie is about anyone, but I get your point. I mean, I would say, I gotta worry about my secret identity, except that it's a thing that no one worries about in this movie. Everyone's telling everyone what they are.
I mean, it is weird, because her name is Cersei, and Sprite's name is Sprite. Does she have a last name? Or is she like Madonna or something?
Yeah, they're all just their thing. And then they took their actual names, their actual eternal names, and then chose to like base human mythology off of these names. Or like create human mythology off of these names.
Yeah, Sprite really messed up.
That's fun.
Like, but she didn't do anything for Sprite. Just must hate Druig, doesn't want to give Druig any credit for being cool and sweet, and is like just writing him out of history. I mean, I guess like, yeah, all the rest of them are in there. Yeah, I guess Kingo. So Kingo in the comics is like an East Asian character that was rewritten to be not that. So I don't know if there's some analog in that culture or something. I don't know what Kingo's deal is. Yeah, it's funny because they like when they redid the comic, like recently, they decided to make that character wear a mask that looks like the version of him that used to be, but that's not what that character looks like. Like he has like a helmet. It's weird. But yeah, DJ, what do you think of the Eternals?
So I am very mixed on this movie. I have feelings about it. Obviously all the criticisms Diggins said I think is dead on. I think that this movie, I don't mind the talky bits. I like the talky bits. I even like the themes. I just feel like a lot of the themes go unexplored. Like, what about genocide? Or what about when like the smart deviants like, we're just pawns in a game? I'm like, yeah, what about that? And like ultimately, I don't know if it's the big Marvel machine that made this movie suffer, but I think there's like way too many characters. And this is not like an original take by any means, but it's a take I really agree with, is that this movie should have been a Disney Plus show just to give it more time to breathe. And if you're going to have that many characters, but I think having so many characters and them kind of getting lost in what's going on kind of hurts. Like, it's cool when everyone goes to a place and like an actual place and not a green screen and talks about stuff. I like that. But I feel like just a lot of the themes get lost in the everything that's going on. I actually disagree with Diggins on the flashbacks. Like by the third flashback, I got it. Like when, I can't, Fausto, Mephisto. When he is just like crying at Hiroshima, I'm like, I get it. that was really sad, and he's technology man, and like, yes, that made him sad. Like, that could have been like a line instead of like a whole thing. Like, I would have rather, if they were going to do flashbacks and like you're going to explore like what are the Eternals doing, like show me what they're doing during the blip, because that probably was really weird. And, you know, Ajax was probably like, oh, the plan's like gone belly up, and maybe, you know, Ashram's like very upset or whatever. But I don't know, I just feel like so much of it got lost because there was too much. Like, take out the smart deviant, take out like 2 Eternals or whatever. Like, take out Druig and the fast one, whose name I can't remember. Even though I loved how they did her as a speedster. They finally did a speedster and not time in a bottle. But yeah, I just thought there was like a lot too much. Like, ultimately, like, all that takes about this is the worst Marvel movie is like ridiculous. It's not even the 5th worst Marvel movie. I counted. I made like 5 or 6 Marvel movies that are much worse than this, but I think it ultimately failed to deliver on what like might have been something that was amazing. Like, I thought it could have been. So that, you know, that's my thoughts.
Now that you mention it, did they get blipped? Did half of them get blipped, or are they robots? Did they not count?
I don't think they're
say.
life, so I don't. Yeah.
Did half of the Celestials get blipped?
But they're not. Oh, are they life?
They're definitely alive.
You can't get blipped by a thing you're more powerful than. They're more powerful than the Infinity Gems. So how could they be blipped by them?
I don't know, but
right?
half of all life in the universe, like, I would assume it's just like all life. It's not like half of all, you know, affected life. I don't know.
So that would have been cool, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, maybe none of them got blipped, and they were all like, wait a second. Something's up.
Yeah.
We're robots. Yeah, that's, I wonder about that.
Or they were like, well, there's only like 7 of us, so it's like statistically possible that we all made it, you know, so.
It's 10 of them, right?
Whatever. It's just like.
I mean, 10 is,
so
that's tough odds. That's like 10 heads in a row. The stats of that gotta be tough.
Like, if the entire Supreme Court wasn't blipped, like, that wouldn't be crazy. Oh, man, what were the implications?
I think that'd be pretty crazy. Aren't the odds of that, like, 1 in 2 times 1 in 2 times 1 in 2 times 1 in 2, right? Like,
all right.
So that's, like, 2 to the 10th power? What is that? We're in the thousands.
Was there a whole basketball team that was not blipped?
But that's like, you know, there are 2 ways to think about odds like that. Like, yeah, you can think of it as, oh man, the chance of flipping heads 9 times in a row is like crazy small. But also, they're all independent odds, right? So, I mean,
That's
each
true.
one
Yeah.
is just a 50% chance. So, like, you know,
Oh, but statistically, the odds of all the Eternals surviving is it's like 1 in 2 times 1 in 2. So it's 1 in 4,000 something. That is the 2 to the 10th power, I believe.
But, like, again, not, I don't know. Like, Diggins has it right. They're all independent of each other. So, yes, while flipping heads 10 times, whatever it is that much, like if you go through it, it's like, you know, your sample of half is 7 billion people. So, you know, you might get 10 guys who just know each other who just didn't get blipped, right?
I don't know.
All right, Nando's not sold. Let's get
I'm
this
not
professor
sold.
in
I
here
think
right now.
So actually, I looked it up. It's 1,200 or 1,024. That's 2 to the 10th. I assume anybody that knows stats, the odds of all 10 Eternals surviving the blip. Tell us what that is, and give us the philosophy on why.
Yeah, we need like a full Twitter thread.
Yeah,
on like why this is. Yeah, don't just
guys, we
just say it is.
gotta get Lorenzo in here. Somebody call
Send
him.
us
all
a
right.
gif of thumbs
Next
up,
week,
thumbs
special
down.
guest Lorenzo. Actually, you can replace me. Have Lorenzo on next week as the third man.
Oh yeah.
Because you'll be busy slathering honey on a moon.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know what that means, but now I want to.
Really? You don't know what that means, DJ?
I honestly don't. Is this a huge blind spot? Oh no, another blind spot. What have I done?
I really
I
don't
also
think it's
don't know
that
what that
difficult.
means.
Guys, I said 2 words. Just put them together.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Slathering honey on a moon?
I think the word slathering got it kind of tricky.
I'm like embarrassed. Yes?
DJ,
I don't know.
think about what you're doing this
we'll
weekend.
We'll never know.
All right. You know what? I'm fine with dropping this. Similar to the Clifford the Big Red Dog trailer made me cry. We should just move on. Move on.
You guys.
Nando, what did you
Black
think of the
Knight.
movie?
I thought it was okay. I think it was. I agree that all of its problems were the problems that it had, but also, you know, it's fine.
Is that every movie ever?
Like, I mean, all the problems everyone said are problems. I don't disagree. I think there's parts I like better than other parts. But I don't think, it's weird. I liked it. I like that there was like I don't know. I like that they did stuff.
I have a question. Hey, Nando, did you like this movie? Or are you just trying to save face because you'll get canceled if you admit that you didn't like a Chloe Zhao film?
I didn't
a lot of
like
people
it,
don't like this
because of all the diversity. Yeah. No, I think it was good. Although, to be fair, okay, I do want to ask a question about diversity with the Eternals.
Okay.
Sure.
Why are they diverse?
I have that question too.
Yeah. Why aren't they all just something?
You want the universe reason, right?
Yeah,
Like
in universe. I want the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
not the out of universe reason where we're like, oh, why is Hollywood hiring all these minorities when they should only be hiring white people?
But like, what if the movie was all white people, and then it would be like an interesting. That's a take, you know?
Oh, well, hold on.
They are white saviors.
Okay, I want a different take because I hate that one. No,
well, no, that's interesting. I think that's interesting, but they could be bad. But like, that's like
If
that's
the
a movie.
If the movie's about
okay.
that, then maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Space colonizers or something. Not even colonizers,
you're,
but just like
you're talking about a different movie that's about that idea, not this movie, but everyone's white.
Right, exactly. But so why? Yeah, but why are they all different? Like, why are they diverse? As a
I don't know. Maybe Asheram just set it to randomize.
maybe he did. It's interesting. Why is one of them a child? I don't get that. I never have, but I extra don't now.
I don't want to sound like I don't want to be insensitive to the deaf community and who may be happy that there is a deaf superhero and like feel represented by that character. Like that's great, and I do. And, like, I don't want to take away from that or, like, imply that that's a bad thing. But it is weird that the deaf superhero is one who is constructed by a super being to be, like, his immortal superpower champion. Like, why did you make her deaf? What does that help?
Well, so one of the things that's interesting about these Eternals is that unlike every single other time they've done these in the comics, they don't have a resurrection machine that brings them back to life perfectly from the start. Like, it does seem like if you just shot one of these Eternals in the ear, they would potentially, because they are like a little bit stronger than people. Like, they have like some sort of extra durability because they can all get punched by each other and whatever. But like, I think you could potentially say that she lost her hearing at some point, you know?
But she doesn't have it in Babylon at the start.
Did they start that? Was that their first day on the job?
I can't remember. Yeah. And like Diggins, I recently saw this movie.
I don't think it was clear. I feel like they've been around for a while, but maybe that was their first day. But maybe she just like, I don't know, tripped coming out of the machine, and I don't know. Like, but I don't think the Eternals would do that, or the Celestials would purposefully make one deaf, I guess, but that is what happened. I don't know. It's weird, and like it's weird in context. I liked her in it. I liked her in the other movie, The Sound of Metal. She was good in that.
She was in that.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, she's the teacher.
So I have so there's like a big question like why give an eternal disability? Why make them all different races? Blah 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 blah. I have like a further one that like I think more I don't know like gets to what's going on here. Why aren't they just the robots that they are when Cersei sees like the vision of what's going on? Like why aren't they just the gold robots? Because like doesn't that make sense?
Well, it seems like he did want them to blend in to some degree, right?
Well, then that's the answer. That's why they're all kinds of people, right?
Well, like, I guess, but why have one be a child? Like,
that one is weird. That's
that one's
a weird
so
one,
weird.
But
It's just such a strange, like, decision. And it's like, yeah.
Well, guys, God works in mysterious ways, and the Celestials are basically God. So don't worry.
Well, yeah.
And you know,
capital
everyone,
G God.
Everyone, it's heavily implied that
God.
a lot of like religious myths come from the Eternals, right? And also, it's suggested that one of them can turn liquid into another kind of liquid. So maybe think about that one, huh?
Yeah. That's true.
Hey.
Well, okay, hold on. Okay. So in the Eternals, right? They are Celestials. The Celestials made them. Okay. So we're gonna spoil the movie from here on out because we have to talk about the logistics of it.
But yeah.
Yeah. So in the movie, the Eternals made this, or the Celestials. God damn it, I hate all these names. The Celestials made the Eternals because they accidentally made the Deviants too good, and it is the Deviants' job to thin out the herd and kind of make evolution better.
They killed the dinosaurs, right? Deviants definitely killed the dinosaurs.
I guess. Did that happen on every planet? Why are there more than one Celestial or Eternals?
Because it happens on lots of planets, it seems like. Every planet...
But what did they...
We're in full spoiler, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Every planet that's growing a Celestial, they send the Deviants to, like, kill apex predators so that intelligent life can evolve.
But it seems like they make the Deviants and they're like, whoops, the Deviants are too like, they say that at one point. It's like, the Deviants are...
Yes.
So it seems like that would be the first time you make an Eternals. Is like, you were like, oh, we got to do something about these Deviants. But then you don't need to make Deviants anymore, or you just make Eternals do that or something. Like, it's like, they feel like the Manhunters from from Green Lantern, where the Manhunters were Green Lantern Shot 1, or I think it's like they're now the second try at making a Green Lanterns, and then they failed. They were like, oops, these are bad. So then they made the Green Lanterns, but they didn't keep making Manhunters.
Maybe
I don't...
part of their like out of control evolution is that they are just naturally spreading across the stars now.
That would make sense. Also, why did different planets seem to have different Eternals?
Why didn't different planets?
Astron gets bored sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
making Eternals is hard, man.
Why
Have
don't
you ever
we
made
get
an
the
Eternal?
Harry Styles Eternal? Why did we we get the little child when we could get the Harry Styles one?
Well, he's not an eternal, right?
He says he
Well,
is.
If you go by the comics, DJ, he is an Eternal, but they're kind of like a weird offshoot that live on Titan.
Yeah.
And by this logic, so is Thanos. Thanos is also an Eternal.
Yes, but
Right.
not these Eternals. They be different Eternals,
But not in the context of the movie, it seems. Like, also, if Titan is a planet full of Thanoses.
Titan's a moon.
That's true. Ooh, thank you very much.
Get wrecked.
Titan is a moon full of Thanoses, right?
Well, full of people related to Thanos.
Yeah, we never see them, and in the comics, it is just a bunch of Eternals that all look like arrows. Like Thanos being purple is weird. Because his
parents like get it on with a deviant or something.
No, maybe at some point they've kind of rewritten this one a lot.
Okay.
But he is just like, there's something about Eternals or there's something about Eternals having sex that is bad, and sometimes you get a Thanos.
Well,
that's why they don't do it.
That's just like humans. Having sex is bad for humans.
Exactly.
It's very bad. It's very bad.
He and that's why the Eternals don't do that. And that's in the comics currently, and I think this is consistent with at least what's happened in the last maybe 20 years. The split between the Eternals comes from the split between a character named Mentor, who is Thanos' dad, and the character named Zuras, who is the Zeus of the Eternals, who is not in this and doesn't appear to exist, which is also super weird. Like, Ajax, I would say most of the characterizations of the Eternals are pretty consistent with the comics, except for Ajax. Ajax is usually kind of a dick, and Zuras is their Zeus, and that one's what Salma Hayek appears to be, and also they're both guys, so it's not like they took the one that's a female character, and that's Ajax, and they kind of elevated it. I don't understand why they did that at all, but like why they didn't just make her Zuras. But those two were brothers, Zuras and Mentor was like, I want to have babies, and Zuras is like, we can't, that's against the rules, and Mentor was like, I quit, and I'm going to another planet to do that by myself. So that is like, but in the comics, the Eternals don't need to have babies. Are you
telling me he started a separate offshoot community on a moon of Saturn because he wanted to fuck?
That's exactly it. Yep.
That's kind of guy.
It's true. And so
I bet on Titan, when you get down, you're allowed to see Robb Stark's succulent ass.
I mean, we've already seen it, right?
Christ.
So we all know what it looks like. We can all work backwards.
That doesn't mean I don't want to see it
at some
again.
point.
He probably had to get more fit for this movie. He's probably got a more toned and more succulent ass than he did back then.
And to be fair, we'd have to watch Game of Thrones again, which is bad, so we don't want to do that. Maybe he's done sex scenes and other stuff.
Well, that part of Game of Thrones was good, so I don't mind watching it again.
Is any of it good anymore? I don't know. How many Game of Thrones actors are in the MCU? Like a bazillion, but like...
it's...
Okay, who do we got?
Do you count
You got
the
Tyrion.
X-Men as being in the MCU now?
Oh, God, do you?
I do not. I think maybe... I don't think so. It's really just Tyrion and the two from this movie, right? Are any of the rest of them make the jump? Like, I mean, Iron Fist, but he definitely doesn't count. There's very few.
Is it way less than we thought? Oh, man, guys, new opportunity.
Yeah, it's surprisingly, like, few. Maybe it's just because they were all super busy, but, like, there's not more than 4 if you count Iron Fist, which is quite a stretch. That's so weird.
Yeah, I'm like, Pedro
maybe they're
Pascal's
all going to be in this Black Knight movie that may or may not be in the MCU at all. Yeah. But okay. So they have sex, and that's the thing. But then, in the comics, the other but big difference that I think is very confusing to me is there's usually a resurrection machine that just brings you back to life if you die. That is why they are eternal, is because if you kill them, the machine just makes them again. But they don't have that here. And they can't, because if they did, we could just make Thanos again, I guess, right?
I mean, don't count him out, right? Or like don't count anybody or anything out with the multiverse thing. I feel like the issue now with like new whatever IPs, so like new whatever's in the MCU is you have to like follow all the existing rules, and it's gotta like make sense. And anything with a space thing is gonna like inherently probably not make sense. Like Shang-Chi worked because it's micro. It's like, well, they were busy during this time, and yeah, the blip happened, we acknowledge it, and you know, it's fine. But for like a lot of these Eternals things, and I get in the movie they say why they weren't around, but even for like the rules of like, well, where's this guy and this guy and this guy, it all gets very muddled. So asking these questions becomes like really hard. I don't know. Do we just say like, shut up, it's this thing? I don't know.
All right, so like an easy one, right? Yeah. They all have the same superpowers in the comics, but in this they don't. They have Power Rangers where each one of them, not even Power Rangers, they're like Captain Planet, where each one of them has a different power, right? Okay. And they all exist to fight the Deviants specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do they have mind control?
I don't know.
Sometimes you gotta control some minds, you know?
But then, so it's funny because it's like, you would assume, because when they do their little, like, their, but no, because when they do their little, like, first bit in, where are they the first time?
Babylon?
Mesopotamia or whatever?
Yeah. Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
Well,
when
Babylon
they do the Mesopotamia
is
bit.
Mesopotamia, so I mean...
Well, but
Mr. Pedantic.
Sure.
They gave us different title cards in the movie.
Yeah, I'm considering the Babylon bit as a different time. But so when they do the Mesopotamia thing, they all go to, like, they all do their power, kind of, except for Cersei doesn't really, but she almost does. And I guess Phastos doesn't either. But they go, and then Druig's power is he seems to, like, maybe make people forget or, like, move around. How does he contribute?
I thought it was, like, as part of that, I just thought he, like, got everyone to be not scared afterwards.
But,
like, I don't think he contributes to the Deviant fight.
But they still walk around. Like, it's not like he, like, wipes their memory so they don't remember the Eternals were there.
Right. Oh, like, how's he contributing to society? Oh.
No, just like the team. Like, it's not like his job is to make sure no one remembers that they ever existed, right? That would make sense as, like, a valuable thing to keep. I mean, unless they just went, they just didn't do that. All the rest of the Eternals are like, they can never know about us. And this Eternals is just not only just walking around in their crazy costumes, but they're also telling legends about themselves. Okay, another question.
Yeah.
So, what is Icarus in this universe?
Like, what is his deal?
Like, okay, so Kingo is making a movie about Icarus.
Uh-huh.
Dressed like the eternal Icarus.
Yeah.
What is that gonna be? Are people gonna be like, that's not Icarus? Or is that a new movie that's based on nothing in that universe?
I think to the lay person, yeah, it's just like he made up a story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And whatever. Sometimes people have the same names or whatever.
That's true. It's one of those names, like Brittany and Tim, where everybody's Icarus in history for a while.
Well, he spells it all crazy with K's and whatever. So
with a K. Yeah, our favorite letter.
Which let's get to nitpicking this because it's weird. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Have we not been doing that?
No, but I want to hear your guys' nitpicks.
Okay.
What do you got, DJ?
I have a nitpick.
Yeah?
Okay. So you know how Sprite is all sad because she can't, like, be a person? Like, to the point where she decides to give up her eternalness to, like, well, I guess I'll be a person. It's like, first of all, you live for like 7,000 years. Your lifetime is gonna fly by.
That's true.
Like, by the perception of how you perceive time, like, you're basically dead tomorrow.
Yeah, she needs like a mind wipe too.
Yes.
She should ask the deviant they kill for a mind wipe real quick using the power that I guess Ajax had. What's Ajax's power?
Well, no,
just healing?
that wasn't
healing.
Ajax's power is healing. I think it's just like a machine they got on their ship does the mind wipes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they really need to mind wipe Sprite then.
So anyway,
do you think it's just so that actor could be in the next movie, but also 2 or 3 years older?
Oh my gosh!
Because all the rest of them don't have to age in real time. Like, you know, they'll all look pretty much the same.
I mean,
she'll
they
look
are
different.
aging, but they won't look that different.
It's not like it'll be like Stranger Things where you have to pretend it's like, you know, the next summer, and it's like 5 years older
real
kids.
Good.
Yeah, but they can't do that with Sprite.
You know, like Drake,
young.
just pretend they're older.
Oh no.
You're great. I love you, Diggins.
They didn't protect us from Drake. They let atrocities happen musically and as, you know, other things. What were you saying, DJ?
So here's my nitpick, right? Mm-hmm. So why not? Her power is like illusion, right? And like they're all basically robots, I think, or whatever from what we gathered.
It seems like it.
If Faustus is like crazy, like intelligence man, why doesn't he make Sprite like a robot suit and she could illusion it up to like make it seem human or whatever? Like I'm sure that they could get her into some kind of like life model decoy. It's like, here you go, Sprite, you can like be a person now.
Well,
and she's like, gee, thanks.
DJ, I think we've learned that the most important thing to Eternals is the question of boning down, and I don't think that would work for boning down.
Damn it.
Could it though?
You make a bone down robot. Make a robot that can bone down.
Well, also, like, if you used Phastos plus Cersei, I feel like you could make some cool shit. Like, Phastos would make a big gold whatever, and then Cersei would touch it and it would turn into person or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, like, it wouldn't turn into
well,
a person, but it would turn into like really good synthetic whatever.
Yeah, I don't think boning down's the problem, for being honest.
She does say she wants to have kids, and I mean, unless she's going to adopt like Phastos did, that involves some processes.
No, Faustus was thinking of the steam engine like thousands of years before it would have existed. I'm sure he could make like a fake baby maker so she could have that dream. I'm certain, as a matter of fact.
Also, let's talk about Phastos real quick. What is his deal? Did he have all the inventions when he was born, like as an Eternal, or did he have to come up with them?
Yeah, is he thinking like in real time, but he learns at like an accelerated rate?
It seems like he comes up with stuff because he came up with the plan, right?
Right? So, like,
okay,
does he currently know our technology a bazillion years in the future?
Yeah, right.
He foresees anime porn in 7,000
and NFTs. He's probably got so many NFTs, it's not even funny. Well, but so what's the difference functionally between Phastos and Tony Stark?
Phastos is way better.
Oh,
who
is he though? His job.
I missed the line. Kingo at one point says that some Avenger like followed him around when he was a kid.
Yeah,
Thor.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's like, he won't return my calls, but I helped when he was a little baby. He like was around me.
Yeah, which I didn't get that, but like whatever.
Yeah, which whatever. Also like what the fuck does that mean, Kingo? What did you? So Thor, as a child, was hanging out on Earth, which makes sense. I feel like we kind of get the sense that every so often they would do that, like they would, mess around.
They actually have a mistaken for human gods mixer. Every few seconds.
Yeah, right? But so then, it's so weird, because do people just assume Thor, if they found out about the Eternals, would they also assume Thor is an Eternal? Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's not, but like he seems like one.
Yeah, I mean, he's also a very powerful, seemingly immortal man who looks like a human for some reason, and also has been mistaken for human gods. He's basically an Eternal when you think about it.
Might as well be an Eternal, yeah.
Yeah. How about that? It's also funny, right? It's like the Eternals and Thor are like the small G gods, but the Celestials are like the capital G gods.
Yeah.
Like they are.
Well, okay.
It's like, oh my god, it's Christian God.
The Celestials. They make Eternals, right?
Oh, yeah. What? Yes.
Why?
And other
Like,
Celestials.
I still can't figure this out. Do they make deviants on every did they make it all at once?
I get why this is confusing, because it's like, at some point, you're like, deviant's bad.
Yeah,
I should just send Eternals to wipe out apex predators and then cultivate human life or whatever.
Because it's not like the Eternals don't know their mission. Like, one of them knows.
Right.
So they're being led in a specific direction. Yeah, once you're the Prime Eternal, you get to do whatever. Like, you get the secret files where all the bodies are buried, and you get to call God. It's funny because God is just like, it almost feels like if they asked Arshem or whatever his name is, and she's like, what is our purpose? He'd be like, wait, she'd tell you? Oh my God. Here's what it is, dude. That's so weird. I told her to totally tell you guys that you were here to kill everybody on Earth. Also, what does Phastos think is going to happen?
Like, what do you mean?
When?
In the end of the movie. Why does he not want to join the Eternals to help save them?
You mean Kingo?
No, Phastos. Phastos is like, convincing. He's like, I love my family. I'm a family man.
Oh,
they live on Earth, dude.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I feel like they have to be like, oh, I can't leave. But like, this isn't one or the other.
I think it's more of like a bitterness at his former compatriots, where he's like, I don't want to help you, and you're not going to succeed anyway. So I just want to live with my family while they die horribly.
Well, also, I feel like he should build a spaceship or something. Then he should start working on the fucking Superman rocket, because he totally can get off of Earth.
He definitely knows about the Superman rocket because his son confirms the existence of Superman.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird, isn't it?
So I feel like with this movie, and I feel like a more broad point, is that there's too many characters to have to like worry about and figure out and go through everything, that there's a lot of prescient questions that aren't answered, which like is fine. You don't have to answer every question in every single movie. Like, I'm sure coming out of Guardians, there's like, well, what about this thingy? Like, what's the deal with the Nova Corps? But here, there's a lot of critical things like to the movement and forwarding of the movie and the overall MCU, which is now like the size of like it's the size of a Celestial basically. You know, I find it very hard to navigate, thus leaving with all these questions. Basically, take like half the characters out of this movie. Here's what you need. You need a Icarus, you need a Cersei, you need a Sprite, and maybe you need like a Gilgamesh or Athena. And that's it.
It's funny because Gilgamesh is easily the lowest profile Eternal in the comics compared to the rest of these guys.
Like the best one in this movie. I love him so much.
I think he is good. I think that's the thing. The ones that don't matter the most are kind of the most fun. Like, Athena serves barely any purpose, and she's pretty fun. Makari serves barely any purpose, and she's pretty fun. And
they put a speedster in a Marvel movie good, so that's nice.
I mean, obviously, whatever his name was, Dick Butt, or what was his name in fucking in WandaVision? oh, right, yeah. Everyone's favorite WandaVision character. But, okay, so, speaking of, you asked a question, though, the Nova Corps, did they know about this?
Did we know about what? Oh, did they know about this?
What the Celestials are doing. Does anyone
Maybe they just, like,
know?
turned a blind eye, like, I don't know, like, because they're probably...
I feel like, I mean, the Nova Corps are basically cops, right? I don't think you can arrest God.
Exactly.
Like, you can't arrest them, but wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you go to a planet and go... Oh, they got Eternals. I guess this planet's going to explode. Which, like, they would be fine with, but is that something they're aware of?
Like, but do they even know about the Celestials and Eternals of all this stuff? Like, a planet probably just blows up, and, like, I don't think the Celestials are standing in space. They probably live in some, like, pocket dimension, right? They're not just hanging out in space. That would be crazy.
It seems like they are. Because, like, they build the galaxy. I mean, they probably do live in a pocket dimension. But if Galactus is going to be a Celestial, which he almost certainly is... then, like, he just walks around. Like,
right,
he has a spaceship, but, like, he's there. And the turtles are big, but they're not that big. Like, they're very, very large, but they could, they could be in the galaxy somewhere. Just
Do you mean the Celestials?
Pool at the ball. Or sorry, Celestials. God damn it. These names are so stupid. But then okay, yeah. So because it's whenever a civilization has like really good intelligent life, so you do figure, does the Nova Corps know about Earth? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, they 100% know about Earth.
Yeah.
Because they're like, Peter Quill, you're blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's either like you turned a blind eye, or it's just like Diggins said, like, we're not arresting God. Well, I guess that's turning a blind eye, but it's just like this idea of, some shit's inevitable. Like, do they equate it to, like, the Nova Corps like, well, we can't stop every hurricane.
Right.
That's impossible.
It's just weird because, like, the way the Eternals work is they're not a secret. And it's like, it feels like the Eternals would work as a secret, where you couldn't go to a planet and be like, oh, they got some Eternals for sure. Like, they have a myth about a guy that shoots laser beams out of his eyes. All right, this planet's done. Like, give them a couple more years, they're all going to die. But the Eternals, besides just, Kingo being a Bollywood star, like, they're so high profile for secret gods. Like, they all go around. She's named Cersei. What happened to Cersei, by the way, when she like liquefied that, like, not liquefied, turned that thing into sand that one day? She get fired?
Yeah, right. It's like, oh my god, this Bryce's artifact.
Yeah.
Okay,
like
that was in a
thing.
children's classroom. That was definitely like some fake plastic diorama or something.
Still, you figure it's like, oh shit, you're Doctor Strange. The people would. It's not like she turns it. I don't think she could turn it back into a rock like that. She seems to only be able to turn things into, like, a different form of matter. But I feel like if she turned it into a rock, it would just be a rock in the shape of a pile of sand.
Yeah, that seems to be how she works.
Remember at the beginning of the movie when she was worried that people found that dagger that she made, but then it didn't matter at all?
I didn't think she was worried. I thought she was just like,
I thought she was like, oh yeah, that dagger. Remember that? Like, I forgot about that.
I made that. I have another thing.
Yeah?
Okay, this isn't like a nitpick, it's just like something I noticed. So I find it funny when Icarus is like explaining to Ajax, like, oh, there are more deviants because they were under the glaciers because the Earth's core is getting warmer because of the emergency.
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
Oh, you guys were a foot away from global warming. You were so close.
Real Tomorrow War shit going on here.
Yeah. Where's Star-Lord when you need him? And J. Jonah Jameson and the whole crew.
God, I'm
like, so wait. Does that mean that climate change isn't real in the Marvel Universe? Because that's why glaciers are melting? It's because the core is heating up from the Celestial?
Well, so that's my other problem with the world generally, right? Like, what is Earth now? Was it an egg for a Celestial that now is like, are we going to like fucking spin out into the sun? I feel like this should be a big deal.
Yeah, because, like, the other thing about it, too, is, like, so at the end, like, the head of a Celestial starts to crown, and then they stop. But, like, what does the rest of the body look like? Because if the head's that big, then the body is, like, exploding through the bottom of the planet, right? Like,
yeah, and I assume it was in the direct center of Earth, right?
I was going to say that based on the size of the head of the Celestial at the end of the movie, I think he probably could have popped out of the Earth without destroying it. It wasn't that big.
That's true.
The head's going to the clouds. The head is breaking over the clouds.
Yeah, but DJ, compared with the size of the planet, like, they can see and comprehend the head from that little island. Like, it's not that big.
I still think the problem for me is just like, what space was it occupying? Or what was there? Is it the thing that heats our, like, the planet? It's like, is it in the core of the Earth there is now less? Also, Or we have a hollow Earth? Is that what this is?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, is there the entire society of King Kongs down there with the Celestial? Are they gonna burst out? Is this when the legendary monster universe of monsters crosses over with the Marvel universe?
We're gonna have to do that eventually, right? Because Doctor Doom, like Fantastic Four, there's a whole species of mole people living under the Earth, kind of. So we are gonna have to go down there and find something.
Oh my god! Are they gonna do the mole people?
I figure. I think they will, because I feel like that's the highest profile Fantastic Four villain that hasn't been in a movie, if you don't count Tim Blake Nelson being named one of them. But like, besides that, we haven't. Like, I feel like that's an really easy first Fantastic Four movie villain if you don't want to burn Doom, and I don't think they do. But I mean, I
think
guess
they
he could have a
do-
big giant monster. Very good.
Nailed it.
Does like, do the Eternals know about Wakanda?
Yeah, they say the word vibranium.
No. But
you know,
did they know about it before?
Oh, probably. They probably know everything. There probably isn't a secret on the Earth that eludes the Eternals.
I'm not convinced. They seem kind of dumb. Like, I don't think they're very good at being Eternals.
Well, what is a good Eternal? Is a good Eternal a being that wipes out deviants and then makes sure that humans continue to kill themselves to make better technology and then live more?
Right.
I don't know. Is that like a good Eternal? I did not understand and then war begets better technology like medicine. I'm like, does it? But
I mean, yeah, it feels like the atom bomb as a part of the Eternals like arsenal of things is probably bad. Like they should,
yeah,
I feel like they should
lay off
actively
that
be
one.
working against nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
because they have the potential to destroy the whole planet before the Eternal gets to be born, or Celestial gets to be born.
I really did want to see the fallout from the blip because it like really probably threw a big monkey wrench in this. Like, was Ashram giving Ajax shit for 5 years? Like, oh my god, you had one job, we had 7 billion, now we have 3.5.
Yeah,
it's gonna take forever now.
But then Ajax could be like, "Hey, isn't Thanos an Eternal? Didn't you make him?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, no, we had to, I mean, kind of. Technically, we didn't make him, but we made his dad.
This is really your fault, you big...
You jabroni.
Big old statue thing.
I was gonna like, what does an Eternal look like? And I'm like, I don't know.
You mean a Celestial?
It looks like a
big
guy.
Cylinder. Oh yeah, Celestial. Celestial looks like a big old cylinder.
Yeah, big, strong guy with extra eyes.
Yeah.
No, strong guy is a mutant.
He's not just a mutant, he's the mutant. Also, do you guys think this is going to make mutants? Eventually, one of the things that happened in the Marvel Universe is going to have to make mutants, right? Like, this seems like a pretty solid way to do that.
The end of the movie, and maybe it's because I was getting real speepy and just like, please be over soon. I didn't understand.
Speepy? Is that a new word people say? Oh, no.
I said sleepy. I said sleepy.
You 100% did not.
Yeah.
No, I said I was sleepy.
Uh-huh.
I was sleepy. You get sleepy?
You're getting speepy, you 16-year-old girl. Like, what is this TikTok language you're speaking, PJ?
Clifford the Big Red Dog's trailer made me cry. So
you just throwing out worse things. You're protecting yourself with worse information.
Clifford the Big Red Dog seems like a Celestial now that I think about it.
Didn't understand what Ashram's deal at the end of the movie was. He was like, I'm going to capture the three of you and judge humanity?
Yeah,
like, what was the thing?
It's pretty stupid because this is something that I think is inconsistent. It's consistent in the comics and very inconsistent in the movies. All the Eternals have a job and a title, right? Like, it's like Aeson the Searcher is the one from Guardians 1, right?
Oh, you mean the Celestial?
Oh, fucking
like
hell. I mean, I guess they both do, but yeah, the Celestials all have purposes, and it's like he is Ashram the judge, but he hasn't been doing that up until now. Also, there's another judge in Marvel that's Living Tribunal who's above them too. But
love the Living Tribunal.
I mean, Tribunal's cool. He's got 3 heads, 6 eyes as well. Well, I guess that's 6 eyes because 2 of them are completely covered, so maybe he doesn't even have those. But he like his job, like. The thing about the Eternals and Celestials in the comics is like there's usually what we got is the Earth X Celestials that are using Earth to populate, like to grow other Celestials, and that's something they do is they like impregnate a planet with a Celestial and then it pops out a couple years later or whatever. In
a couple years,
pretty much, yeah. Usually, and not usually, but besides, like since the game and run. The Celestials just do this for fun, kind of, and they put a certain amount of Eternals and a certain amount of Deviants. I think it's 100 of each on a planet. And then whichever one wins determines who gets to eat the planet, whether it's the Celestials or a different group called the Horde. And it's just like a game. And the Eternals have more powers, but the Deviants have more breeding capabilities. So it's like, which one's gonna win?
Fuck, obviously.
Exactly. And that's why
contest here.
And that's why it's so interesting, and that's why Thanos is bad. Is because he's kind of got the deviant, like, you know, not gene,
fucking
but
power.
like philosophy. Yeah, exactly. But it's weird because it's like in that there's a point where Makari, one of them, who is the one who is talking to a Celestial who's kind of gone rogue. It's like, wait a second, this is just a fucking game. Our whole existence, this is so stupid. Yeah. And the Eternal's like, yeah, it is. Or the Celestial, excuse me, is like, it's weird. I don't know what to tell you. But in this, it's like, who is he? But that the job, Arishem is judging them. Like, it's kind of his job to do this, to judge who wins this game. But in this, he's just another one of the Eternals, or Celestials, who is just big. So it's not the judge. Is he becoming the judge now? Does this happen every time you make a Eternals? You know, like, they go rogue, and he's like, all right, time for judgment.
Yeah, in which case, you know, have that be, like, on the front end or whatever. It's, right, like, it's... If his thing is like, oh man, you guys messed up so bad, so you're all dead now because I'm basically a god.
Right.
And I'm going to put some new ones on here to maybe birth this guy in, like, I don't know, like 3 to 5 years. Like, this guy's getting born. I put, you know, however many millions of years of investment into this. I'm not just going to say, okay, I guess he's not born.
Yeah.
Also, how much of what Ashram's saying for, like, the Celestials need to be born to prevent, like, I don't know, the universe from dying, is like that real, or is that another lie on top of a lie? Because, you know, I might be Team Kingo. Like, Kingo was right. I don't know if that's the thing on the internet, but I might start it. Because, you know, maybe.
Again, these Eternals are not creating... Like, I guess the Eternals know that they are going to get on a spaceship and just fly away at the end of this, right? That's like...
No,
they don't know that.
I don't think that's even
when our
what they
mission
do.
is done, we're done.
It sounds
is that
like what they're explaining at the end sounds like it's more like their essence is tied to the Celestial that is born, and then they are like remade at the World Forge.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Huh. Why do they have uniforms at all?
Because how else will people look at them and be like, oh, you guys are cool.
Branding opportunities.
I think
Toys.
so, yeah. It's so weird. Also, I didn't like their uniforms. I feel like they look kind of cheap at some points. Do you see that?
Like cheaply made?
Like, there's one point where they're all arguing in the little ship. The Domo, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is it really
something like
called
that.
The Domo?
Yeah.
No.
And you get a close up on Icarus, and it does look like he's just wearing a Lycra bodysuit with just like pieces taped onto it. It's weird because sometimes it looks good, but sometimes it doesn't look good.
I liked Cersei's jacket. Not her, like, superhero costume thing, just the jacket that she's wearing at the start of the movie and for most of it. But no, I thought it looked good.
I like Dane's jacket, too. I think he had a cool look for his second scene, not his first scene. But later in the movie when he shows up and is like, by the way, I'm the Black Knight or whatever.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about him. What's his deal?
Oh, man, well, he's in... Yeah, he's in 2 minutes of this movie, and he shouldn't be in this movie just so he could be like, hey, Blade, we're friends. Or
That's
whatever.
insane, by the way, that was Blade. Because did either of you catch that?
No, I had to look on the internets to figure out it was Blade.
I thought it sounded like it was Blade, but I was like, it can't be Blade.
Yeah.
It'd be Blade.
I was very much like, that's somebody. I've heard that voice before. I just assumed it was his dad or whatever. But maybe Blade is his dad. Ooh, we don't know what this Blade's deal is.
He thought it was Sean Bean, but actually secretly not Sean Bean.
Oh, yeah. That would have been funny.
Doing his best Mahershala Ali impression.
Sean Bean would be a good, like, he could be the original Black Knight. Because Dane Whitman is the second Black Knight or something, historically. I don't fucking know. I tried to look up some Black Knight stuff, and I just couldn't be bothered.
He's like apparently an Avenger at some point. Like,
yeah, he starts as a bad
around.
guy, and then he goes to be an Avenger. He's actually pretty early in the Avengers run. Like, that I know. But I don't know what... Because he's another one who they've remade the origin of every so often. I think now, like, the sword is evil. It makes him evil. So if he uses it too much, he turns bad, the Ebony Blade. But I don't... I feel like it did that whispery thing that the like Lord of the Rings does. So they were going for that here. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of this is hard because there is like the substance of this movie, which I overall think is good. Like we didn't do the segment, but we totally should do it. Like, talk about nice things about the movie. But like, my overall point is there's so much stuff that means like a lot of big things that like are important to the MCU. I get the feeling that like kind of what Diggins was saying, that it feels like Chloe Zhao just got bodied, so like they could just shove stuff in here for future content, and like that kind of sucks because there is a lot of good stuff in this movie. The themes of this movie and like talking about genocide and purpose and like destiny, all that stuff are good themes. They're just not addressed at all.
I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like there were Marvel ideas, but I think the things that got shoved into the movie by Marvel were like, you know, make Phastos shoot little droids drones at Icarus. But I feel like the Marvel universe seems usually to have a little bit more consistency than this, to the point that you would expect someone like, not like Thanos, but like Eros or something like that to show up a lot earlier and be like, this is me, I'm Eros. This is kind of what I'm doing, and you're an Eternal, and this is how you connect to Thanos, and whatever. But they didn't do that, and that's why I feel like it's so frustrating thinking about it in terms of the rest of the Marvel movies, is because it just doesn't have, not even like, it doesn't have connective tissue, but like, unlike Iron Man 2, where it's just like, it's Iron Man again, you could probably use a little bit more of it to understand what their goals have been, and like, the fact that they didn't interact with the snap is just pretty weird. Like, so, I don't know. They're weird.
I like that it's not connected to the Marvel Universe for the most part. In fact, every time it started to do so, I was like, boo. Boo.
You didn't like when Harry Styles showed up at the end?
That was puke emoji.
That was fun, I
loved
guess.
it.
I meant the part where it was like, people start talking about Thanos, and I'm like, no, don't do this. Or when Kingo's like, Thor used to follow me around. I'm like, why? Why are we saying these things?
Yeah. Also, is Icarus the basis for Superman in this world? Or is that just a coincidence?
Someone saw him, and it's like, oh, it'd be a great character in a comic book.
Yeah, it'd be cool if he flew around and had super strength and laser eyes. Like, it's so on the nose.
Yeah, it's fair.
Maybe we gotta get Joe Shuster and something Siegel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We gotta get them to show up in a Marvel movie and be like, we based Superman on Icarus.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So, or I guess it's not really a question. I'll put it as a question. Do you guys think that, it's a leading question, but whatever. Do you guys think that the fact that Harry Styles was cast as Eros means that, like, this character is going to be so unimportant? Because it's going to be impossible for, like, Harry Styles to be in a movie for longer than, like, 5 minutes? Just, like, straight up impossible.
Why, though? What is it about him that's so important?
Isn't he a busy man with all his, like, watermelon sugar high cuddlingus and whatnot?
I mean,
sorry, his wife?
Like going around the earth. He's on a mission to cunnilingus everyone.
Do you know the song Watermelon Sugar High, Diggins?
I certainly do not.
I only know it from hearing about him in this movie, and like, oh yeah, I guess that's something he did.
There's like this song on the radio called Watermelon Sugar High. Look it up when we're done. But allegedly, that's what the song is about. Is about, eating that sweet, sweet dessert, if you know what I mean.
Oh my God.
I don't know what you mean. Explain.
Delicious. Isn't that what Harry Styles says?
Oh God, no more.
But hold on. But wait, what? I feel like they've got way bigger actors to do stuff like this. Not like bigger actors, but people who you're like, that guy's pretty busy.
He's not an actor, man. He's a musician, man.
Yeah, whatever. He can take a little time off to do a movie where he's mostly on green screen or whatever. I don't see why this is something unusual.
Not unusual. Well, I don't know. It's like they
DJ...
put Ed Sheeran in an episode of Game of Thrones. You're going to make, like, Harry Styles a cornerstone of the MCU?
I mean, Haley Steinfeld is pretty important now. She's in that.
They just got to get a scan of his face, slap it onto, use CGI to slap it on top of a different actor, and, like, license the right to have him show up. And yeah, that's it. That's all you need.
I guess.
I'm sure he'll be back. I like that. I like that look a lot. He looks so good. Like, the Eternals don't really look like they usually look like in the comics. They all have different outfits. I'd say Thena's about as close as you get. All the rest of them look different. And I don't think it's bad, but I think it's like, why bother? But he looks perfect. Like, that stupid V and his weird haircut and all his outfits, great. Also, I mean, as excited as I was about him, I was way more excited about Patton Oswalt as Pip the Troll. That's
great.
Amazing. Like,
good for Patton Oswalt, man. He's the best.
Yeah, I felt like when MODOK got cast, maybe as Jim Carrey, everybody was like, "Why Patton Oswalt?" Well, he's busy. He's got his own weird little goofball in these movies now, which is great. It's funny how consequential of a character those two guys are. Like, Pip the Troll and Eros are easily the two most important characters in this movie.
And that's bad because, like, well, okay, I don't know. I don't want to say it's bad, but it's this thing where the post-credit scenes should not, like, upstage the movie. They should, like, accentuate and be a fun little teaser. Oh. You know, Sam Jackson's like, come on, Iron Man, or come on, Tony Stark, let's do a thing. Not like, what is it? The entire power balance in the MCU is about to change forever. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean that they're more consequential in the movie. I just do mean, like, in the comics, it's like Eros he's an Avenger. He's got a lot of storylines, and the Eternals have
one
like
time in a
maybe.
She-Hulk comic, he he was sued for sexual assault.
Yep, and he lost because he's bad. Also, is his power being sexy? How is that helpful for killing deviants? Because that's what his power usually is. Yeah, is that how he waited till they all got intelligence and turned into a big bald guy, and then went like, "Hey, buddy," and then they hooked up.
I have a question. Whomst amongst us, Harry Styles showed up, and you were like, "Oh my god, it's Harry Styles."
I knew he was in it before because it was on Twitter one day. It was so fucking... because I blocked everything. I was really good about it, but I couldn't block Harry in the MCU, and because I didn't know he was in it. So I saw that one day, and I was like, Harry Osborn? We're getting what's his name? James Franco back? And I clicked on it, and it was him. I don't think I would have recognized him without it. I think I would have been like, he's from stuff. I know that face.
I will. I'm not like a Styles stan, but I saw him, and first it threw me off because Harry Styles usually has like that big old hair.
Yeah.
But this was more like combed down.
I feel like he has pretty big hair in this, right?
It just didn't feel as big as normal, but maybe I'm misremembering. But I was questioning, and then he spoke, and I'm like, oh my god, Harry Styles, because he's not doing a voice. That's just what Harry Styles sounds like. So,
I mean, to be fair, he's just supposed to be playing the sexiest man in the universe. So
there you
get
go.
Do Harry Styles voice. Any other actor would just be trying to emulate Harry Styles.
I think you got to take that up with people who decided that that's actually Chris Evans, who obviously couldn't be Eros because he's already Captain America, but you know.
Or Paul Rudd, who is the new sexiest man alive, who is also already in these. They got all the sexy men. Good for them.
What an incredible move it would be if, like, they just casted Chris Evans as Eros.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yes, this is it. Like, Captain who? Yes, this is you.
That'd be wild.
They start reusing the same actors. It's like, look, we said 10-movie contract, but we never said which 10 movies.
Yeah.
And we never said you couldn't play two different characters across the 10 movies.
Oh, man.
CGI up the face a little bit, make it all different. No, I mean...
I like this movie, except for, all the stuff we already said.
Say one, like, really nice thing, or, like, our favorite part of the movie, so we can come back from the, this movie was bad and confusing.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first. Dan.
I like that the Speedster was cool, and they did all the cool Speedsters. I liked, you know what? To be fair, I liked almost all of the power visualizations. I liked the bits where Icarus was flying around doing laser beams. I do think it got a little heavy on, like, I don't even know what it's called, like diegetic light kind of, and like it's a dark place, but then laser beams light it up, or Thena's glowy weapons light it up. But I do think overall those were cool, and the action scenes were fluid and fun. I also enjoyed when they were just sitting around, shooting it, like just like be like, hey, fuck you been, man, it's guy, he sucks. Like I like that, and I wish there was more of it. But yeah, I think it could have done with like 3 less Eternals. But the ones that I think you could cut are the ones who had the powers I enjoyed the most. Maybe not Phastos, but definitely Makari and Druig, I think. And Thena and Gilgamesh. Like, those guys are, for me, the most fun to watch. However, the least consequential story-wise. So that's a bummer. Yeah, but I did like it. I liked them. I liked them. They were cool.
All right, Diggins, how about you? What's your thing to say nice about this movie?
Well, besides all the other things I've already said I like about this movie, because even though I acknowledge that it's a mess and, maybe overall not that great, there's a lot I did like about the movie. I'm going to throw in a little small one here that I haven't said before. I really like the design of the Celestials. I think they did the like big, weird monster aliens. They really feel like these gigantic, like powerful things that you can't quite understand. And I think that's neato.
Nice.
That was cool. DJ, what about you? Say something nice about this movie.
I really enjoyed, and I alluded to it, but I really want to kind of hone in on it because I really did enjoy it. It's what I really enjoyed about the only other Chloe Zhao movie I've seen. But the landscapes and going to places I just found very like powerful, and like but also like the intimate scenes and the big scenes. So like if you're gonna have a movie where it's just gonna be like a lot of talking, then it's nice to go to like these big expansive places on location to talk, but then also like having the ability to shoot a scene that's like in a single room, whether it be like the dad's house in Chicago, or the, you know, like Gilgamesh's place, or at the end of the movie back in South Dakota where they're just all kind of hanging about, and just the shot position and the characters and how they're kind of placed and talking to each other, I thought was all very, very, very good. And the parts that, even though there wasn't a lot going on, engaged me during the movie. And then, like, one other thing I want to add, because we didn't really talk about it, I really did like Angelina Jolie in this movie. Like, I know it's like, did she even do anything? But I thought she did a good job in the scenes she was in, like, using, like, really good facial expressions and, you know, giving kind of that muted but, like, powerful behind the performance. And I thought that I kind of lost the Angelina Jolie bit of it in the role, which I think is good. I think it's good when the actor kind of, especially like a giant famous one like her, kind of gets like lost into the role. That happened for me, and I just thought it was very good. So I like really liked her performance a lot.
Oh yeah, and that didn't come up at all in our weird things. The Mad Weary, they're like little.
Why was it a thing at all?
Have any of them ever gotten it before? It seems like the answer is no.
You know, I love
know what it is, though.
Yeah.
It's pronounced Mad Weary, but it's spelled like it's like another alien language and not human words. It's so weird.
That, I'm pretty sure, has some apostrophes in it. That's what I'm kind of confusing the rest of this with.
Yes, that one definitely does.
Yeah.
I'm mad, and I'm also weary. Mad weary.
Like, I don't understand. I like, it's an interesting idea, is that, like, she's got what is essentially Eternal's dementia, and, like, kind of, but what is the purpose of it in terms of, like, why do they even, not like why do they get it, but yeah, how do they know what it is?
Just another MacGuffin in this movie to be a MacGuffin.
I guess. Because we need more movie.
Speaking of things that we didn't talk about, and just things I feel like tacking on. So I thought it was weird that, because we didn't really talk about Kumail Nanjiani's Kingo too much. Two things. It's weird that we didn't get to see those sweet, sweet abs.
Yep.
And it's weird that he just pieces out for the third act, and there isn't even kind of like, we'll all join together in the Unimind, and like, willing or not, all of them like become connected via this light. But there was no like far off light for like, it's Kingo, or like a shot of Kingo. They just forgot about Kingo. And I'm like, damn, why was he in this movie? It felt like a really like missed opportunity, or like misplaced, I don't know what you call it. But yeah, just really weird.
Maybe he's a Skrull. Maybe he got replaced by a Skrull at some point.
Yes,
and he knows he can't do the Unimind because
please be a Skrull.
That's probably it.
Please be a Skrull.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird that he's not in it, but also it's fine. Because I get it. I understand what he's saying. He's kind of, I mean, and overall with the Eternals, he's kind of a shithead. Like, he's not very principled or anything.
Well, he thinks that genocide might be okay in the right context.
Yeah, he just wants to follow the rules, you know?
He also won't hurt his friends because, you know, they're your friends.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
overall,
that's all I had for,
great
like,
stuff. Best Marvel movie. You think they'll get a second one?
I mean, they said Eternals will return in the credits.
Returnals.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Returnals.
true.
That bad game that everyone hates, or maybe doesn't. I don't know.
What, Returnals?
Returnal? Isn't that the name of a game? Returnal? Am I like... I thought Returnal was a game.
I mean, it sounds like the kind of shit they'd make as the name of a game.
Returnal. Yeah, it's a video game. Returnal. PS5 exclusive.
Oh, that's why I haven't heard of it. Okay. Not on my radar. Did you guys see, by the way, apparently they delayed Miss Marvel till like the end of next year. And apparently they're having trouble with Black Panther because she won't get vaccinated.
I did hear that.
Oh my god, really?
She can't travel because she is unvaccinated.
Why don't they...
I mean, she's vaccinated by, like, you know, whatever Aaron Rodgers is vaccinated by.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Monoclonal ivermectin.
Yeah. But We might not. This is so weird how this is affecting like the schedule of all these movies because they all probably cameo in each other's stuff. I know Ironheart's going to show up in Black Panther or something. So like, does her thing get delayed now? What happens? World's crazy.
I mean, they can't do the magical wand of like, you don't do this anymore because we're not.
Listen, you know me. I'm big on the just recast people. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fine because you know what? No one cares. No one cares who like plays what. You could do it to literally anyone. Look, if it comes out that Harry Styles isn't Eros, whatever.
Nah, I like
whatever.
him. Unless you replace him with another member of One Direction or whatever he's from.
Yes!
Just keep popping different One Directions in. What if
we replace him with a Jonas?
Oh, that was the other one. I was not convinced they're not like. I know of Joe Jonas, but I don't really know what his deal is. But he could probably do
Nick.
it.
You would do Nick.
Oh, really?
Jonas. Yeah.
Which ones? Which ones? Was he the one that was in Jumanji and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. That's the one I thought it was. This is how bad I am at Jonas's.
It's okay. I think is there an Eros rival in the movies that Nick Jonas could play that would be like a fun,
Thanos.
You mean the new Thanos. Young Thanos. I mean, there is like flashbacks to when they were babies, so it could be that.
Oh.
Yeah. And in the comics, he was like,
Pretty Boy
Eros
rival.
is like, don't be so bummed about death. It's okay. And he like used his loving powers to trick Thanos into loving death, canonically.
I remember when he turned Eros into like a big old string.
Didn't that turn out to be a lie, Nando?
Was that a lie? Oh yeah, you're right. That was a lie. I can't remember why I know that though, or what comic that came out of.
That is right. From the She-Hulk run I was talking about before, where Eros is sued for sexual assault.
But where did the lie come from?
But then Thanos shows up, or a representative of Thanos shows up to be like, also, he's the one who made me evil. And everyone's like, oh no, this is really bad for the case. But it turns out it's a lie.
I read this like a week ago too. I forgot about that.
I read this like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Just so you guys want to get a sense for how good my memory is.
Great stuff.
We get it, Diggins. Once you hear Watermelon Sugar High, you won't be able to stop thinking about how it's about cuddlingus.
That would be your Eternals powers, remembering stuff, and you'd be like, "Why is that? How is that useful in fighting the Deviants?" And we'd be like, "Don't worry about it."
Well, he'd remember all their tactics and stuff. Like the Deviants don't evolve their tactics,
true.
so he's like, "This is what they do."
Well, I don't even.
Why wasn't one of them a tactician?
I don't even have like a crazy good
Diggins?
memory. I don't have like a photographic memory or the Tim Rogers thing where you remember everything that's ever happened to you. I just have a pretty good memory. That's it. It's not even like exciting.
Athena should be the tactician because she's like the god of war. That's like her job usually.
But she only tacticians for herself. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't tell like the other people what to do. Like usually your heavy and your tactician are different people.
Well,
I
she's
mean, I would
not
think
like the
that's-
heavy necessarily. Gilgamesh is the heavy.
All right, but whatever. She's your best fighter or whatever. Like
I would think Ajax is the tactician. She's their leader.
Yeah,
that's fair. But we never see it. We never see what she does. She heals good.
I really couldn't tell you, and having read a bunch of comics, what Ajax like purpose is on the team in the comics. Like, I legitimately can't remember. I feel like the comics are never about Ajax. It's always about Cersei and the rest of them, and Icarus. I like that Icarus was bad in this, by the way. I thought that was a good twist.
I did enjoy that. Yeah. I like that after they win, he's just like really upset and throws himself into the sun. That was like
Suicide by Sun is crazy. That is crazy.
That was intense and I liked it.
I can't believe he did Suicide by Sun. So hardcore.
Speaking of hardcore, you guys want to recommend some things?
I'd love to.
All right, what do you got, DJ, to recommend to the fine people?
All right, this is going to be a hard thing to like describe to recommend, but I really want to because it's great. Okay. So, this past weekend was Extra Life. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining. Nando, you came in for some Jackbox games. Got to talk about Texas Bart. That was fun. Wasn't that fun?
It
Texas
was
Bart.
fun. Texas Bart was fun.
DJ. Sorry, I was getting a drink. It was fun.
It was, sorry. I know. I really seemed like I was going to go on for a while, and then I'm like, actually, I'm done. Oh, by the way, like as a real quick aside, Nando, Michelle really did find all of your drawings incredibly cute. So We'll have to commission you for some just adorable drawings of like positive proton or whatever. So there's a game that we played early on that I want to recommend called Inhuman Conditions. And what this game is it's like a 5-minute. I don't even know what kind of game to call it. It's like an interview game, or it's like a role playing game, or like deception game. But basically, what you have to do is one person's like an interviewer, and another person is either a robot or a human, but you don't know if they're a robot or a human. And you basically have to suss out whether or not they are a robot or a human by just having like a certain conversation with like a framework of what's going on. It's a fascinating game. You can Google Inhuman Conditions. The website is robots.management, but they actually have a free to play. Like you can just print and play the game. They just like have it out there for Creative Commons. So I would say try it out. It's man, I'm like really bad describing this, but what's fun about it is like, so it's a game that's actually one of those rare games that is good to watch and to observe. So like you see the interviewer and the person being interviewed, and like you might have no idea what's going on, but like watching the person trying to figure out if they're a robot or not, watching the person like trying to answer the questions and not reveal if they're a robot or like just a regular person is like interesting, and like how you could have mess ups in that way. And it just gets like, you need a little bit of like what I would say like improv chops to be the investigator and figure out like what's going on and try to make it to where it's entertaining, because like the point of the game isn't like to win, like I guess it is, but the point of the game is really to like have fun, which is the point of every game, right, Diggins? The point of every game is to have fun.
I was literally about to say that.
The point of every game is to win. It's also the point of therapy and money and everything.
So I think what's good about it is like it's very entertaining. It's easy to pick up. You only need 2 people. It's free. You just got to go to robots.management. And I think it's something if you have a bunch of people over, like if one person knows how the game works like well, you could like go on YouTube and find tutorials and stuff. But it's like a good thing to facilitate, and you could like trade people in and out. So it's like, all right, you come in now, you interview, you be the possible robot or human or whatever, and you just kind of have that like dynamic during a party or whatever. It's like a good palate cleanser, like during like games you're playing. It probably would have been a good idea to play during those like really intense games of like Secret Hitler and Werewolf, but whatever. And yeah, I just think it's like a very easy, free, fun game that's like good to watch and good with like a good mix of people. So I described it horribly. I would just say go on YouTube, shut up and sit down, did a video. There's other videos you could watch of like playthroughs, and you could Google it or go on like robots.management and just like download it for free. So yeah, Inhuman Conditions. That's like my recommendation for the week. Also, thank you to everyone who donated and watched and helped us. We got to $1,700, which was awesome. I like really appreciate everyone's participation and help. And yeah, just wanted to thank everyone. Michelle, Ryan, Lorenzo, Mike, just like everyone for coming, hanging out, and donating. It was a really fun time. I think we got some donations for movies to nitpick, which we'll probably never get to. Haha, we stole your money. But I should review those at some point. So if you did, thank you. And I promise we'll do the movie at some point. Right, guys?
Probably before Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah. Very good. Diggins, you have anything to recommend?
Sure, I just got a quick one for y'all. I watched a movie by this like tiny indie filmmaker. Not a lot of people have heard of him. Real like just getting started. You guys ever again, the answer's probably no, but you guys ever hear of this Wes Anderson fellow?
Oh man.
Wes he's the West Wing, right?
Wesley Anderson from Daredevil? Is that who Wesley is?
Yeah, from Daredevil.
My Wesley.
No, Nando's right.
Oh, thank you for your little movies about toys or whatever they are.
No, so
I've
obviously
watched very many of them. Family isn't that difficult. That's what those movies are, right?
Yeah, definitely. Wes Anderson has a new movie out called The French Dispatch, which is his first. It's his first kind of anthology movie where it's really kind of 3 short films stitched together with a framing device. Because it's his love letter to the New Yorker, especially like around the New Yorker as it existed around the time he was kind of growing up and like really fell in love with it.
I did not realize that was what it was about.
Yeah, it's posing as a fictional magazine, the French Dispatch of the Liberty Kansas Evening Sun,
Jesus Christ.
That is a Wes Anderson thing.
That is technically the full title of the movie, The French Dispatch of the Liberty Kansas Evening Sun.
I like that Isle of Dogs. That was the whole title of the movie. It was just Isle of Dogs.
But say it fast, and it's I Love Dogs.
See, even faster, it's a little...
Oh my god, I never realized that.
Man. DJ's taking a lot of L's this podcast.
I've taken so many L's.
That's why I wasn't allowed to watch it, you know? I don't love dogs.
I mean, neither do I, but I did watch that one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This one, it's got
sorry for
Timmy
interrupting.
Shallow.
Yeah,
you got
you got our
Chalamet's
boy,
in it.
Timothy Chalamet. You got Frances McDormand. You got Tilda Swinton. You got Jeffrey Wright. You got Owen Wilson. You got Bill Murray. You got Benicio del Toro. You got Lea Seydoux. You've got, oh God, I can keep going. I think Edward Norton's there for a second.
Bill Murray.
Adrian Brody. I said Bill Murray already. Adrian Brody's in
My
there.
bad.
Rastafarian, my favorite. I really do love it so much. I've showed it to so many people.
Anyway, so it's got these 3 little segments to it about different kind of stories around this small French town that they live in. Ennui se blasé.
Oh my God.
I love him so much.
I'm not going to say it's the best movie Wes Anderson's ever done. And if I'm sure you probably already have an opinion about Wes Anderson, and it's not going to change that opinion. If you like Wes Anderson's stuff, it's a really good one, I think. I like the anthology format. It kind of lends himself to, because he creates these like little tableaus that, that's something he's very good at, is creating these like really specific constructed worlds with a lot of personality. So this movie lets him do that kind of like with a broad theme of being in this town of Ennui sur Blasé. Lets him do it like 3 different times with 3 different like stories and people.
That is absolutely like, that is the ballsiest thing to put on a script in history. Like that's right up there with the fucking protagonist from Tenet.
C'est blasé.
Ennui sur
I just
Blasé.
can't even. It's gonna kill me if I hear it another time.
Well, I guess you don't want to see the movie then, because they say it a few times.
I will see it eventually, but I need a break, decompress.
I enjoyed it a lot. It's very much Wes Anderson's usual bag of tricks. So if you like those, it's a good version of it. You'll enjoy it. If you don't like those, don't watch it. It's not going to change your mind. It's no Grand Budapest Hotel, which changed my mind about Wes Anderson.
Did it really?
I like that one.
I used to not like him. Then I watched Grand Budapest Hotel and I got it.
Wow. How about that?
I still don't get the ones I don't like from before that, but I agree. I'm 50-50. Moonrise Kingdom is the one I can't quite figure out. I think I should like that movie.
I like Moonrise Kingdom a lot.
Not a huge fan.
I enjoy it. I only watched it recently, but I enjoy it.
Hate with a passion, but
the thing with me is I usually hate child romances, so the fact that Wes Anderson's movies are like so like constructed and like not realistic in tone helped me a lot with Moonrise Kingdom, because it's like, well, this basically isn't a child romance. So.
Right.
That
makes sense.
Anyway, so if you do like Wes Anderson, or you have no real opinion on him but like good movies, you should watch The French Dispatch. It's pretty good.
How about that?
Nice. I'm going to recommend the thing that I've been watching all week, which besides
Squid Game again.
Besides Eternals, is I'm watching. Well, I mean, it's not unlike Squid Game. Is Succession, the show on HBO that everyone loves. I have been hounded by family members to watch it for a little while. But the 3rd season just started, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll watch this show. And I do really like it. I just finished the 1st season. It's got a lot of like surprises. It's very Wes Anderson, honestly. Like it's like Arrested Development if they did bad language words and stuff. And if they actually had a business that they worked at instead of just sitting around talking about it. But it's pretty fun. I like that show. It's got good actors in it. I love Brian Cox. I've always liked him. Since X-Men, I guess. So not always, but X-Men. And you know what? And Agamemnon in that stupid Troy movie that I will always love. So he's great in it. Sarah Snook, very good. The one, Macaulay Culkin's brother, very good. Other ones, good too. Good movie. Or good show, probably. I haven't seen the 2nd season, but I feel like people still like it after that. So it's probably still pretty good. Like I said, a lot of bad language words. It's got that Veep thing where everybody's a little overwritten, you know, where they're all like, they all have so many insults in their pockets for everybody else that they always sound incredibly clever, but it's, you know, it's still pretty good. My favorite character is Tom. He's not my favorite because he's bad. I hate him. But he's so interesting to watch because he acts differently around everyone. It's pretty fun. I would recommend it. So that is my recommendation.
Nice.
What are we doing next week?
What
Clifford
are
the
you
Big
guys
Red
doing
Dog.
next week?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, you could do
Because
that.
you'll
We
be
could do a
slathering that
Ghostbusters
moon
thing.
with honey.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
We could do
It's
a Ghostbusters
really,
thing because Ghostbusters is coming up.
DJ, you think that there's like layers to that? There's one layer.
Slathering a moon with honey. Like, what's the moon and what's the honey?
You're so close.
Anyway, while DJ figures that out, like I said, we could do a Ghostbusters thing because Ghostbusters, whatever, Stranger Things is next week or 2 weeks or something.
Stranger Busters.
Yeah, so we could definitely do the 2016 one. I don't really think the original ones are that fun to nitpick. Maybe they would be, though. The nitpickery of that universe is actually really weird.
I don't want to nitpick the 2016 one, not because I don't think it's nitpickable, it very much is, but because I don't want to give the people who hate that movie for bad reasons more, like, I don't want to support them.
It's tricky because I feel like that movie did that thing where it really expanded the universe and like the Ghostbusters fight ghosts in Times Square. So, like, it's so weird. Like, what are the implications of living in the Ghostbuster-verse? And I think the first couple movies were always kind of light on that, where it's like, there's a ghost, kind of. And then it's also kind of an evil super demon being thing. And that guy's the big problem. But in this, it's like just lots of ghosts. It's like, how do you become the ghost that looks like it's a tall man from a carnival? Like, how do you do that?
How do you become the
that
ghost
mean?
that gives a BJ to Dan Aykroyd?
I love that ghost.
Yes.
Or Slimer. Slimer's like a mob boss or something, but how does that happen? What makes
Also,
you
what
a
does that
ghost?
feel like?
We could watch Casper. That's another movie about ghosts. I don't know. We could figure out we could watch Ghost, but
or a Paul Rudd movie, because Paul Rudd's like the big guy.
That's
right?
true.
Pick your Paul Rudd movie.
Clueless. Let's just nitpick what it's like for a 25-year-old to date a high schooler. It's pretty weird, huh? Especially
Who's
if it's your
also
cousin.
his stepsister.
Yeah, or stepsister, right, yeah. I like that movie, though. We'll figure it out. We'll take his suggestions. How about
Clueless
that?
really, really ahead of the curve on porn on that one, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, she doesn't get stuck in the washing machine or whatever, but besides that, right up there. That was a sequel. That was in the show. Did you guys watch the Clueless? I watched the Clueless show more than I watched the movie. It was just a movie again. It was great. Okay, anything to plug? DJ.
Oh my goodness,
plug.
Roses and Rejections. We'll be off next week because I won't be on this podcast next week. I actually think I might be off this podcast for 2 weeks. I don't know what you guys are going to do besides be wildly successful.
That's up to us, you know. Maybe I'll be off this podcast for 100 weeks. Good behavior. That's what I would say.
But yeah, I'm definitely off next week, so yay or whatever.
Diggins, what about you?
Just my usuals. I've got my newsletter at alittleperspective.substack.com. Might have something coming out on that soon. We'll see. Be something a little different if it does. And I also stream at twitch.tv/thisisanOddName. We've mostly finished Deltarune Chapter 2. We've got one last stream left in us before that's over, so keep an eye out for that one.
Wonderful. I've got a bunch of things, obviously videos about Eternals and stuff. The one thing we haven't talked about, and which this happened so many times, is I have a video about Crow, the main character of Eternals, played by an actor who knows who. Apparently it was Bill Skarsgård, but Dan Stevens teased that he did it, and then it didn't happen. So I don't know what he was doing, what his deal was. Apparently he was on set. What happened? Did they just get a tall guy to pretend to be Crow and then dubbed it over with the fucking clown from It? I don't know.
Was Crow the Deviant?
Yeah, that's his name.
Well, we didn't talk about him for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
We forgot he existed.
So probably making a video about that. I have I was on a podcast called, it's not called Topom, but it's the only podcast about movies, so that's the initials, with Matt from Extra Credits. We were just talking about...
That's some bad news for us.
I know, it's a bummer. And it was good. We talked about Eternals more. I have different thoughts there. Not like different thoughts. We talked about different things. So it's definitely worth a listen. And then I was in a screen ranted video with me and Patrick Willems where we talked about Eternals. Also different thoughts. He came up with the very interesting conclusion that just broke my brain. So definitely worth watching that. But yeah, those things, and also still get the subscription to Dropout. Watch my episode. Watch everything else, but watch my episode of Actually, because it's great. I'm great on it. And that's all that matters. Yeah, next week we'll see. Who knows? We'll find something cool.
I won't be here.
We won't be here. Too busy
Slather in
with
that moon with honey.
Yep. Until next week, I want to end this before we figure it out. Until next week, I am Nando, or I'm at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I cried during the Clifford the Big Red Dog trailer.
And I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.